Hiya, Sandy here, your friendly Norwex independent sales consultant. If you've been around Norwex for a while, you would have heard about our famous Norwex Mop System. What makes it so special? Well, a lot of people absolutely love it, and you might be wondering why. So I'm just going to pop on to let you know a few hints and tips about our wonderful mop system. And I was one of those people who loved my old mop, didn't think I needed a new one. Well, that all changed when I used my Norwex mop for the first time. I never looked back. So first of all, let's start with the basics. Our mop pole. It's fantastic that it's fully adjustable. You just twist it. It's got this wonderful thing at the end here, which is actually like an eraser. So if you've got scuff marks on the tiles, you can actually use that. This bit here actually helps you to lean it on the bench or wherever and actually holds it up against a table or whatever. And of course down here is where you put the mop base on. Here is our mop base. This bit is a bit Velcro-y, but it's got this Velcro bit on the back, and you can see how maneuverable it is. It just does a 360 there. Okay, now that's really handy, especially when you are wanting to go down low under things or going around toilets and things like that. It's very, very handy when it attaches. This is how it attaches. I'll show you. It just clips on simply and easily there, and to unclip it like that, very easy. What I love most about it is that I don't have to carry a bucket around. There's no more chemicals needed because I can get an antibacterial clean with just water, just like our other products. So let's think about our different mop pads. Just like you would be if you were vacuuming or sweeping, we have 3 options for dry mop pads. This is what we call our superior dry mop pad. It is a bit like a dusting mitt for your floor. Okay, it creates friction is what I'm trying to say. So it creates friction as you're sweeping or as you're, vacuuming, whatever you want to call it, mopping, and it actually picks up all those fine particles of dust and dirt and even sand, and it will hold on to it. Okay, it's a great idea to do a figure of 8 as you're mopping, which you can do, remember, because it is so maneuverable. What that does, it actually holds the dirt. You can move it so it's all together to pick it up, and then you'll usually end up with a line down here. We just use our rubber brush to brush it off and into the bin. So that's really, really handy. So this is really good, like I said, for your finer dust particles and things. Now, if you live with pets or you have humans with long hair, this one might be your go-to. This is our chenille dry mop pad. It's got lots of chenille little fingers, lots of surface area that can actually pick up the dirt and hair and fur and hang on to it. And again, we use our brush to take those particles off. Not great. I mean, it'll still pick up though really fine dust, but not as well as the superior mop pad. Recently, we had a new mop pad release, dry mop pad release, and this is the Duster mop pad. Now, it is a lot of little fine fibers there, and it again works with the friction, and it will work best for all that fine dust and dirt. Okay, so if you live in a dusty area, I would suggest this one. If you live in a humid area, I would suggest this one. This one seems to glide over the stickiness that you get in humidities on floors and things better than what the other two do. Sometimes it sticks and the mop feels like it flips. It won't glide where it will with this one. One thing you might notice, all the back of the dry mop pads are yellow. Think of the sun, yellow, dry. Not only that, it tells you on the tag that it is for dry mopping. Okay, of course, they also contain backlock. All right, once you have a clean floor, and can I just say, I tend to vacuum my floor, with a vacuum cleaner, but I will still go back over it with that one to make sure it's clean. It's surprising how much extra dust this picks up after you've vacuumed. So once you've had a clean floor, that's when you can use your wet mop pad. Now, here's our wet mop pad. You'll notice it's blue, think water, plus it tells you on the tag. Now, this is just like an Enviro cloth for your floor. No need for chemicals, just water alone, and this cloth will clean your floor. I tend to just run it under the sink, get it all wet, and then I roll it up to squeeze most of the water out. It doesn't have to be like dripping, but it doesn't have to be super dry. Then I just pop it on the floor. I pop this on. It's hard to do with it like this. There we go. That's how it sticks, and off I go. Mop, 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 basically. Now, one thing you might notice, the first time you use it, you might find a resistance. You might find it's hard to mop. And what that actually is, it's picking up everything. Just like the Enviro cloth, E for everything, it'll pick up everything that it can feel. It's actually picking up the residue or the chemical residue that may have been left there and built up for many years of all the chemical cleaners you used to use. So give it a couple of washes or 3 or 4 times of using it, and you'll find it'll glide a lot easier. It's just a fun fact. Interesting, isn't it? All right, now after that, we also have this tile mop pad, we've called. You can see those blue lines there. They're an extra little bit of scrubby that won't scratch, but it does help with the scrubby clean. So I find this is great if you have lino or you have textured or matte tiles. Some people tell me even slate tiles, it won't eat it up like it does other mop pads. So that little scratchy actually helps to get into the little grooves and the little textures and stuff to get it clean. So I have tiles and I actually switch between the both, but they both work really, really well. Same thing, roll it up, off you go. Now there's another mop pad that works extremely well for some people, and this is a window cloth a window mop. Basically, it's a window cloth on a mop pad. And if you've got really highly gloss tiles, this will be your friend. So you can use the wet mop pad to wash it, and then you can go over and dry with this and it will really shine. Also great for those people that might have really high windows, set windows, to also clean. Plus it's great for your pool glass fences, things like that, okay? Like a window cloth though, it does grip a little bit, but that's just the cleaning. Okay, so I always suggest if you're just starting out to start with the standard wet mop pad. The reason being is that you can do so much more rather than just your floors. You can also mop your walls and your ceilings. Now to do that, we'll come back to our little mop base. You just have this little mechanism here and you just turn it to lock it into place. What that does, it stops it from being able to wriggle around and just go up and down. And that makes it a lot easier to actually use it on the walls and the roof. Now our mops are super light, which makes them very easy to actually use above your head or you extend the pole, but it makes it a lot easier to use on the walls and on the ceilings. Now it's great if you are getting ready to paint the walls. You can use this to clean your walls. You don't need sugar soap anymore, because remember, it's just like an EnviroCloth. You just need microfiber and water. In fact, in 2019, when we had the huge amount of floods up here in Townsville, we ended up with mold. Mold just grew everywhere. And it was a real problem for people. I remembered that our EnviroCloth will remove mold. It actually grabs hold of it, hangs onto it, does not spread it around, and you can remove it and it won't grow again if you remove it, right? So then I remembered, hey, like an EnviroCloth for your floor or your walls in this situation. So I actually mopped all my bathroom walls and roof, and any other walls that I found that had a lot of mold, like my laundry, and I did not have it return. It is great. So it wouldn't have taken me very long at all to mop with this. But if I had EnviroCloth and ladder, it would have taken forever. So another handy hint. Okay, so how do you clean your mop pads? A lot of people ask me that as well. Easy peasy. They just get thrown in the washing machine. Simple. Yeah, so they are super easy. It is the best mop that you'll ever own. It will be the last mop you ever own. So many people hesitate and are worried about the price, but they never regret it. But there are a couple of ways you can get the mop. Okay, so in the back of our catalogue, Norwex have put some kits together, and the mop is available in a number of different kits, a mop kit pack, or you can have it in the ultimate kits as well, and you get that at a discounted price. So there's that option. The other option is you can host a party, and we have host credits that come your way, and so you can put that host credit towards your mop. So you could even not have to pay for your mop at all. Your host credit will, or you can put a little bit towards it. The host credit covers a fair bit of it. Sometimes the mop turns up as host rewards, so you can look out for that too and earn it that way. The third way you can obtain our mop is in our starter kit. So maybe you want to share the Norwex mission to your family and friends. You can get it available in our startup kit, in our startup kits, and then you can start on your Norwex journey and earn your mop for free. Helps for you to understand how the mop system works better. Bye-bye.